The time is 6 after 8 o'clock. It's a Wednesday morning, a beautiful day in my part of the world, which of course is in Johannesburg, the greater Johannesburg area. We are going to be talking to Sharon Dreyer, and I kind of wonder just how she feels being back in beautiful South Africa after her very, very terrifying experience being evacuated from Sudan. We do know what is happening there. The war has broken out, and just what was that experience like? How does she feel now? What's her family's experience like before she reached home? Sharon Dreyer, very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, everybody. I'm just feeling overwhelmed and still very teary and still cannot believe that I'm home safely
Take a
because
deep breath.
it's been a horrific experience for 15 days, and just getting out there alive, it is just a total miracle. Because there were days that I felt that we weren't going to get out, especially when we had all the resistance, seeing that I was one of those who did not have a passport and could not get through the border. But I just know that I made it and just lived every day trusting God about it. But as I said earlier, everybody wants to know our story of how we got evacuated, but nobody really realized that that was our home. I lived there for 5 years, and that was my home. And I used to come home on vacation and bring some clothing and presents and that, but I left everything there. I have really nothing here. And yesterday morning, when I just went into Pep stores and to get myself a winter pajamas, I just burst out crying because I thought that was my home for 5 years. And I had to leave everything and just come with a small bag, a backpack of clothing. Because, and every one of us have lost. That was our livelihood. We don't know what's going to be in our future. We don't know if we can go back there because we know when I left my apartment, half of it was destroyed because I lived in Khartoum too, at the Souk area, which was the epicenter of everything. And getting out there alive is just by the grace of God. Because number one, the RSS bombed half of our flat, and also we managed to go to the flat next door. We are friends of the UN, and they then, when the RFS wanted to get into their flat, the UN managed to um, try evacuate their people out of flats. And because we were staying in the flat next door with our UN friends, the UN did not save us, but because they were our friends, they would not have left we three South Africans, because we were the only three left in our flat next door to them. And they took us with them. So we then were evacuated to the hotel, the Al Salam Rotana Hotel. But it doesn't mean that it was safe there. It was still dangerous, but it was a little bit away from Khartoum to where we lived. And all of us had to just leave everything. I left my laptop, everything, because my laptop and things I left at school on Thursday, not knowing that this was going to happen. We left all our clothing. We just had to grab what we could grab, and of course we had to recycle our clothing and things like that. I did some washing yesterday. I had only one bundle of washing. Um, and that is what people don't realize, that that was our livelihood. That is where we live 90% of the time. 10% we come home, it's like a vacation, and then go back to working again. All of us are unsure whether we can have jobs back there, you know, because as far as I know, is that my school, I don't know if the whole school is bombed, but I just heard that half of the school is bombed. So that means I can't go back to my job. And that is even more daunting. And it's easy for people to say that, you can just buy things again. It's not that, it's things that we've been accumulating. Everybody, when you lose things in a fire, then people are always there to donate. But people don't realize when we lose things in a war, especially in the war zone, people don't really have that compassion about it. But they do have compassion about the earthquake and that. But we've lost everything, all of us. In fact, when we arrived, some people in Nairobi, they booked in one their cases because one or two of them just took a case, and they only got it back yesterday, and we were all most of them were saying, look, we've already lost everything, and now they have also lost their cases. Lucky for them, they got it back. But the experience being in a war zone, we all of us did, especially me. I was used to the I've been used to the gunshots because when I started in 2018, it was the revolution of al Bashir, and of course it was gunshots and tear gas. And then with the military coup on the 25th of October 2021, it was also just, gunshots, and I was exposed to tear gas and that. But later on, you become so used to it because say twice a week, usually on a Tuesday and a Thursday, they would have protesting. So we would hear gunshots and, of course, the tear gas canisters. So your ear becomes so used to it, and we're just like, okay. So usually when they have a protest, it's usually between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And after that, you can go outside. As I was saying in my last interview, Sudan is very safe. So do not ask me why am I working in Sudan. I would prefer working in Sudan than in South Africa. It is extremely safe. We can walk anytime at night, even when we go to, whether it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I remember I have a backpack, and one day my backpack was open, or somebody would shout and say, look, your backpack is open or your purse fell out. And that is how people are in Sudan. They are the most peaceful and the most laid back people I've ever seen, really. And so that is why, for me, working in Sudan was safer than I was working in South Africa. And I've been
Come
out
in
of South
here,
Africa. Yeah,
Sharon. Can I come in here? Uh,
sure.
you've given us a lot of detail. Thank you very, very much for that. Let me ask the all important question. And I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to take a long time for you to overcome. I can see how overwhelmed you are. I can see how this has impacted on you. Can we refer you to a counselor, Sharon? Have you had any counseling up to now?
No, I have not. I'm so sorry.
No, not at all. You carry on. Have a good cry. Take a deep breath. The floor is all yours. Can we arrange for you for a counselor to speak to you?
Yes, that would be fantastic because I know that I will be fine for a minute. And then I just stopped crying. It's like I cannot stop crying. I try not to cry. I try to be brave because the whole time when we were out there for the 15 days, we could not really cry because all we needed to do is we need to get out here. We need to get out here. And you know what was even more irritating is when people write to you and say, go to the embassy. How could we get out? We have the army that we I saw a tanker being blown up in our street. So how am I going to get out of there? And I mean, even the South African embassy, all of them were with us on the bus because they had to escape, you see. And so that is why I'm saying it is just the trauma of not knowing and not crying. I think this is the first time since I've been back that I just cry. I just go out. I just thought I would sit still and watch TV or do something, and I just start crying because just
It
knowing
is quite
I don't.
understandable, Sharon. You've been through an extremely, extremely stressful and traumatic time. You've been exposed to unimaginable horrors, probably seeing people killed in front of you, houses, infrastructure being bombed. None of us want to be in a situation like that. So we're so sorry that you had to go through this. And we pray that you're going to heal. It's going to take a long time. And we also pray for you that you speak with so much of love for Sudan. We pray that in time you are able to go back. What is your current situation now? Where are you living? Whom are you living with? Are you being taken care of?
Yes, I'm living. Actually, I live with my son. He has a house here out in Hopefield, that's between Malmesbury and Langebaan. So it's a very quiet little town. So I'm able to heal, and I don't have a lot of people around me. Like family and friends are all out in Cape Town. So I didn't want to be with them because it would just make me, more overwhelmed because everybody wants to ask questions and everybody wants to give advice. It is fine here, and I love this because my son would just leave me alone because he's very busy with his own environmental business. So I'm able to, if I want to watch TV, I can cry and not have too many people around me, because at this moment I don't really want people around me because it's just been so much for me. And even seeing dead bodies and the smell, I sometimes still get that smell of the dead bodies that was lying outside of our flats. So it's very hard. I'm so sorry. I don't want to.
No, not at all. Not at all, Sharon. We are here for you. I wish I could reach out and give you a hug, but that's not possible. You take it easy. We're going to go for a short ad break. We're going to come back and talk some more to you. I want to understand. You seem to have such a deep love for Sudan, for Khartoum. You keep referring to it as your home, even though you're a born South African. So we'll take a short ad break, come back to you and talk about your love for Sudan. And what are your hopes? How soon do you believe this war is going to end? Because you have an inside understanding of what's going on there. And will you go back if you have the opportunity? So think about that. We're coming back to you in a minute or two.
Okay.
Ramadan is over, but that closeness doesn't have to be. The deeds most loved by Allah are those done regularly, even if they are small. So don't let go of that feeling. Give a small amount regularly and hold on to Allah's love. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
There's no smell that takes me back to the comfort of my childhood than the smell of black seed oil being applied by my nanny. Now I'm using Tib black seed in my own home to soothe sniffles and coughs, to help with digestion and immunity, and of course, as part of my beauty routine. After all these years, I've come to appreciate the wisdom in finding comfort and shifa in trusted treatments like Tib black seed. You can find Tib black seed at all leading pharmacies or find out more at blackseed.co.za.
Conveniently located along the banks of the Crocodile River bordering the Kruger National Park, as a guest at Buckler's Africa Lodge, one can enjoy an amazing sunrise or sunset on our spacious deck area while you catch a glimpse of some wildlife sightings along the Crocodile River. The sounds of the African savannah will greet you whilst you enjoy your morning coffee. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Buckler's Africa Lodge is ideally situated only 6 kilometers from the Crocodile Bridge Gate in the Kruger National Park. Catering for all travelers with variety, we have 4 types of the finest rooms: superior rooms, deluxe suites, and 2-bedroomed family units. Each room is equipped with the finest amenities to make your stay unforgettable. Guests can choose between the self-catering option or book their accommodation with breakfast and dinner included. Buckler's Africa Lodge is your ideal location for the ultimate Kruger getaway experience. We specialize in exhilarating and educational game drives in Kruger, tailor-made to suit your family. Inquire about our various accommodation offerings and other activities. Visit www.tingana.co.za for more information. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Experience the pulse of Africa with us.
Ah, the kitchen, the heart of the home, where memories are made and celebrated. Our go-to place for those freshly stacked pancakes early in the morning or for that late-night snack munchies. We are in there together, cooking, eating, and celebrating life together. Let's keep the kitchen a place that is shared by everyone, where we build stronger bonds and grow together. Sunfoil, Now We Cooking. Visit nowwecooking.co.za for recipes that everyone can help make.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities, conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. We are talking with Sharon Dreyer, a South African teacher who was evacuated from Sudan. She's absolutely lost everything. She's had to leave everything behind. The flat she was living in was bombed. She was subject to all of that horrific trauma and drama that played out in Sudan over the past 15 years. That war is still continuing. I think Sharon is one of possibly 25 or more South Africans that were evacuated from Sudan. We also know that Gift of the Givers have been involved in assisting the evacuees. Sharon has come back with absolutely nothing apart from a backpack. We here at Salam Media are going to put her in touch with a counselor, because she does need to be talking about her trauma and just what she's been through, and this can only be addressed through counseling. We will organize that, but she's also in a desperate and dire situation. She doesn't have a job. She needs to earn a living till the situation possibly stabilizes in the Sudan. She speaks with deep love of the country Sudan. She made it her home over the past 5 years, and I know that she would love to return to the Sudan. But in the meanwhile, her life has to carry on here in South Africa, and we as South Africans need to band together and try and do something for Sharon Dreyer and the other evacuees here in who have come back home. They do need some sort of a stipend or possibly a temporary job or something to keep them going. So good people, please dig deep into your hearts and pockets and make this possible. We at Salam Media will reach out to other organizations and see what they can do to help Sharon and the other returned evacuees to South Africa. Sharon, welcome back. How are you feeling now?
A little bit better, still a little bit emotional, but I'm feeling a bit better now. Okay. And like I said, despite my deep love for Sudan, is I work at Nova International School. So what happens is it's from preschool right up to high school. And I'm the principal of the preschool section, which I simply just love and adore my little babies. So I miss my little babies. But you know what was the best thing is that my parents that I had, they all of them, when the war started, they all of them saw to it that they started texting me and saying, we're trying to get you out, we're trying to get you to us, but we can't because we all live in Khartoum, because most of the kids, and then they also live like in Kafuri and Bahri and those places where, where the bombing was quite. Those who lived a little bit in Bahri was trying to get us, some parents, because most of my parents are they're either diplomats, or they are doctors, or they are work for the UN, or they are ambassadors
Mainly
and things like that.
expats.
So
Mainly expats.
no, no, most, yes, expats, but my no, but only but my Sudanese
Ah,
parents, you know, and they love me to bits, because as I says, I managed to, okay, one joke, I managed to grab my Prada bag, which a parent gave me, and I left
oh, good
all my
on you.
other
Good on
bags.
you, girl. Good on you, girl.
Yeah, but I left my Coach bag, I left my Guess bags, I've left my Chanel bags, I left all of that. It's all presents from parents. I left all my jewelry, like watches and stuff that parents have given me, because these parents, they go overseas and they come back. They go from Dubai and they come back and they bring us presents. Not that I expect it, but because they love me and I love the parents, and I love their little babies. Oh man, they are too cute. And I still thinking on Thursday. That's why I don't have my laptop, because I was having problem with the internet on Thursday at school, and I took my laptop along, and I was trying to load down a movie for them, because they wanted this Peppa Pig, and I don't know what they all wanted me to download for them. And I was downloading it, and Mr. Bean, and that's why I thought, on Sunday I'll take my laptop back. But of course I can't. The school is bombed. But I
Yeah.
remember, as on Thursday was still last, I saw my little babies, and it
All
is,
right.
and also the
Sharon,
way the parents are
Sharon,
loving and caring.
I do know you don't have your laptop with you, but since you've arrived in South Africa, which was yesterday, and you have such a deep love and attachment to your babies and the parents of those babies and the relationships you formed in Sudan, have you tried to reach out to anyone there, or is it too soon, or are all the communications down? We do know in a war situation, the warring factions take over telecommunications, etc.,
Mhm.
just to to ground the country and cut the country off from the rest of the world. But have you tried to attempt to reach anybody? Did you make contact? Is it a possibility?
Okay. Yeah, I have four of my parents have contacted me. They are out of the country. They also fled. My one parent, two of my parents, actually six. Two of my parents are in Egypt. They're going to Cairo, and then um, two of my parents are in Dubai, and the other two is in Saudi. So they in contact with me and asking if I'm fine, and then I ask about the other parents. They said they do not know what's happening, but I think most of them have escaped, because you must remember my parents are quite, they quite rich, I would say.
Mm,
So
mm.
obviously they have moved, and they managed to get out of the country. Oh yes, there's another parent. They left, and the mother just sent me a message to say they are in Denmark, because her husband is one of the surgeons in Denmark. So they left on the Monday of, because the Saturday this happened, and he just got back from Denmark on the Tuesday, and then they tried to get him back out again on the Wednesday, the following Tuesday. They
Okay,
managed to get
Sharon,
him
can I
back.
come in here,
So
please? Can I come in here, Sharon? Did you have
sure, no
any
problem.
inkling at all that there was a war that was imminent, that any day now this might happen? Did you have any idea whatsoever that this was going to happen? And in after it happened, or whilst it was happening, have you talked with people? How, what is the talk on the ground as to how long people suppose this will carry on? When do you believe things will return to normally? There is such a thing as normal.
Okay, well, we didn't know that this thing was going to happen, because as you know, the hit. Okay, what is happening? As you know, the history was that these people were going to. Something happened here. Okay,
I can
as
hear
you
you.
know,
Carry on.
um, uh, uh, yeah, these two generals were part of overthrowing Bashir, helping the public overthrow Bashir. And then you
Right.
know the history that when they then was with the civilian government, and after the civilian government, it was the military coup. Then the two of them were fighting who's going to the country, and the country, and it was free for all. It got and then on the 6th of April, we heard they're going to sign a little treaty to say who's going to rule. And we were home on that day, 6th of April 2023, and we were all home because we thought, okay, something may happen, something may not happen. Nothing happened. It was quiet. We went back to normal and everything. And then the whole week, the brewing that both of them are not being who's going to rule. And we were still saying on the Thursday, I think yes, the Thursday, everybody was like, oh, we hope this thing will happen after Ramadan, after Eid, if there was fighting. That's what we were saying, because it's Ramadan and it's Eid. It's one of the holiest time for any Muslim.
Absolutely.
So nobody suspected on the Saturday morning. Absolutely nobody. And the Saturday morning, when we heard, I remember usually we got, like we three South African ladies in our flat, and we usually out on a Saturday morning. But this specific Saturday, all three of us was indoors, which was just a miracle. And we heard like a bang, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, we hear all the shooting, and can you still hear me?
Okay. I can, but I think we're going to have to leave it there in a minute or
Hello.
two. So if we can just try and get through that very quickly, and then wrap up. So if you just want to continue, because there does seem to be freezing of your voice and the video. Okay, I think that's where we leave it. As you have heard, we've been talking with Sharon Dreyer, one of the South African evacuees, a South African teacher that was in Sudan for the past 5 years. She spoke from the heart. She was very, very overwhelmed and very sad that she's had to come home, but she's also saying she's come home to absolutely nothing. All of her belongings has been left behind in the Sudan, in her flat, which has been bombed. We at Salam Media are going to try and get a counselor or a therapist to be in touch with her, just to let her go through some counseling, because she is very, very traumatized. And we will also try and get in touch with one of the agencies to see if they can't assist her monetarily or otherwise, just to get her back onto her feet again. So inshallah, we do hope and pray that that story does have a good ending. This is News and Views right here on Salam Media. And of course, coming up next, we're going to talk about the bombings in Palestine. And this comes on the heels of the Palestinian Khader Adnan, who died in detention. And of course, he was on a starvation in protest of the atrocities being perpetrated by the occupiers in Palestine. So please do stay with us.